issue with my internet. Yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah, you're visible. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
guys, I want to just give a little introduction about Shivam. So Shivam has done his like you can say that B.Tech in computer science. After that, in the ML field, he actually did his master. So Shivam explained it better. Later, like his whole journey, it's something like the whole experience. I think over more than 2 years of experience. He worked like as a data scientist, and right now he's in the position of senior data scientist. So like Shivam, I want to like you're the best person who can explain about like your journey and all. So just can you give a little introduction like about you?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, as you mentioned that I have completed my BTech in computer science itself. So I like came into this field of machine learning and AI mainly uh, back in 2016 itself, 16 or 15 maybe. So actually, I did one internship during my BTech, which was basically that at that point of time, machine learning was not that great, which is, as you can see now, not much that famous. Like everybody's, like even our mother and father, everybody know what's AI. Like they are saying that "Acha, AI is building this software and all these things." So at that point of time there was nothing, it wasn't that famous. And but I had interest since then. We did some basic projects like elephant detection in the image. And that point of time there was not much into what we'll say, Python was also in its form, but I did my first project in MATLAB, and which is not used much nowadays in industry. So all these things, and then later on, since that internship, I had this interest in machine learning. And then after I my BTech was completed, I prepared for GATE exams, the competitive exam, and then I got into a government university where I took my master's in AI itself. And then 2 years of AI and learning the we get assigned with a very best guides and all. So I went through lots of research papers, and then my thesis was itself in natural language processing and all those things. So I had this always had this uh, just going into the company with data science field and all. Then back in 2020, then I got my first placement in a startup. And then after then I 1 year of work there, and then I joined HSBC as a data scientist itself again. And then yeah, that's my journey in short. So yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. So basically, guys, Shivam is right now actually working as a senior data scientist in HSBC. Okay, I think I hope you have already about HSBC as a bank, and it's something like the main thing is if I'm talking about a data scientist role, you might have heard about this thing ki, like lot of startups are actually coming up with this role. Even there are many established companies who have like brought up this like new role. Okay, and it's not like brought up new role just now. It's something it's back from very long time. And now when people are coming there, so there are new problem statements which are coming up at that point. Okay, so now Shivam, like I want to ask this thing. He like uh, since you have done your bachelor's in computer science, okay, and during that period, uh, like what generally happen in like every student mind is okay, I want to go in this development field. There is a back end development, there is front end development, there this kind of development, and like and because the number of options are actually a lot,
Yes.
on that phase, okay, but you have also done your, you said like you did your gate in computer science, like for your
Yeah.
masters.
Yes.
So during that time, I think you chosen this path of like this
Yeah.
machine learning. Even you have also shared your experience that during your coaching time or something, you also did some ML projects. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so how this thought came in your mind is that I want to move myself like in this path, because that is actually a kind of a unique kind of a decision during that point? Because people are
Yeah.
already moving in multiple directions. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so how you made that decision actually?
I think it's very important to be in a good company, as in the people which surrounds you, and the people whom you are in touch with, who are always giving you best advices and all those things. So during my internship, I did my internship from Roorkee. So people from IIT Roorkee were there to guide me. They were uh, people who were currently doing PhD, or even my guide was from IIT Delhi. So all this, from them I came to know that it was 2015, yeah, and at that point of time only I came to know that AI is going to be a boom in recent times. And then also, if you know something is going to be very, coming with a lot of power in future, and then also it was very interesting. So if you want to know, like, predict things, like for example predicting what will be the weather after 1 month, or these things, and different kinds of prediction, you are just giving a model an image, it is able to tell that okay, it's a human, or if it is a human, or if it is a cat, or a any dog, something like that. So these were quite interesting, and if you know that this is going to be a very kind of a boom in near future. So I was at from that point of time itself, I was too much interested in this field itself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you mentioned something like you did one project like elephant detection.
Yes.
So why specifically elephant only? Matlab, it could be anything, na,
Yeah.
like person detection, like
Yeah. So it
all
is
about.
basically limitations with respect to the data which we have. So, at that point of time, the data set which we had was mainly, there was a lot of data which people had downloaded manually from internet, downloading different elephant from different angles. They have given their efforts for elephant. It could have been anything, but it was just that they decided, okay, we can randomly take an animal, so they decided on elephant. So
I just want to
yeah.
I just want to ask quick question. Is that elephant detection means like if I give a elephant photo, then it will be able to detect okay whether it is an elephant or not? Is it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So it will only be, it was a very basic model. So it will only tell that if it is an elephant or not an elephant, just that.
Okay. So what if I draw an elephant and it shows that to the
So
model?
yeah, definitely it will depend on how good that model is trained. So if it is trained very well, so it will be able to tell this is not an elephant. It will straight away reject it. So, but yeah, so that's what different, how through the era things have improved. And not only through we always had data, but we need things to compute and things to understand. So this is how, the era of machine learning has, increased its productivity in this recent years.
Okay. Okay, nice. So my next question is like if I'm talking about in that like in the domain of development, okay, the coding development, something like web development. Web development is another field. So front end, back end, DevOps, principal engineer, lot of fields are there. Okay.
Yes.
So we only heard about this thing like machine learning. People used to say that machine learning, like just one term. So want to understand like what are the subfields in it? Okay, I'm sure like there might be there will be some subfields
Yes.
like in that particular term. So what are those subfields? And if I'm saying that I am doing machine learning, so what it means? It's something like suppose if I ask you like which is the particular domain basically, what is that particular suppose if I'm saying that I am actually a backend developer. Okay, I'm not saying I can also say that I'm a web developer, but
Mhm.
particularly I'm a backend developer. So similarly, please elaborate on this field part.
Yeah, so basically, we can divide these things into universal sets and subsets of each other. So AI in itself is I'll say a universal set, and it contains everything inside it. And for example, in AI only we can put robotics as well, but robotics in itself has parts associated with electronic and electrical engineering itself, because there will be chips and how and there will be different mechanics if we go move towards vehicle automatic vehicle movement and all these things. So 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 there will be some intersection with AI as well as some different mechanics, mechanical engineering and all those things. And then uh, and if we talk about machine learning, it's basically a subpart of AI itself. So and then in itself, machine learning um, is broadly referred to as traditional machine learning methods, which contains models like you must have heard about regression models, and the decision trees, random forest, the ensemble techniques, and all those things basically comes into machine learning. And then there was an era of neural networks, how like neural networks mm, became, if we increase the number of layers, it will be called as deep neural network. And then which actually became, if you will increase the complexity and more technological things, not going much deep into it, but it will become a transformer model, which is also termed as LLM, the large language models now. So basically, but if we talk about more broader way, we can divide it into, like, some part can be the computer vision part, and where, so these things will be only dealing with images, video, and all these things. And the second thing can be NLP. So this field will only be uh, focusing in the text part, so text generation. And if you have given a long paragraph, it will be able to summarize it. So text summarization also comes into it, text classification comes into it in the NLP, and many more. And then third part can be reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning, in this, it will focus on learning through mistakes. So the automation, so the vehicle, automatic driven vehicle, and all the things comes under reinforcement learning on all the things. So broader. And then there one more, the audio processing. So if you see in YouTube, you must have seen that people are speaking on the spot, it is able to generate the captions. So those captions are generated through audio processing, and that is also a part of, you know it comes under NLP, but it can be now, since it has more applications now, so it is also a part of AI now. So yeah.
Okay. So basically, what you're saying is, like we can like integrate AI with any field. Like even if I'm saying the
Exactly.
robotic, even in web development, like that depend. But the more broader way to see this is like one you said NLP, computer
Yes,
vision.
computer vision.
Computer
Yeah.
vision is dealing with images, NLP dealing with text. Okay, so basically there are different domain. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes,
so if I'm like if I want to pick any of the domain, so I can do the mastery on that part.
exactly. So
Like
like I have mainly like for me, I have mainly worked towards NLP side. So
okay,
computer vision side, I have not worked much. So we can do mastery towards one thing or multiple things as well. But yeah.
okay. So it's something like playing with text.
Yes, so NLP basically says natural language processing. So whatever language you're working on, so if it is Hindi, English, anything, be it any language, so whatever you are doing any work on the language, so it will be coming under NLP.
Okay. Can you give some examples like what kind of tools or like which exist on NLP, like tools or application or anything which is outside there?
So like there are tools like you can search, for example, there are PDF. I was just going through some tasks, so I had to convert uh, a PDF into a
Mhm.
presentation slides. So there was a task which contained all AI. It even had an AI chatbot. So if I tell it like how do I use your application to convert my PDF into a presentation slides, so it will tell. So it is understanding the text and all this. I think that software is UPTF, something like that. I am not exactly remembering the name. uh, I think it is UPDF. Yeah, UPDF. So one tool is like, and then if you search in Google, like many there are many tools nowadays. Like if you tell it, okay, this is the topic. Like if I want to give some presentation on NLP, I'll just say that my presentation is on NLP. Generate some slides for me. It will generate a slide, and it will give you different um, even it will give you different templates to decide. So these are all some tools. And I've also seen tools, for if anybody's he want to prepare for interviews. So I have seen some tools that it will, you just need to tell, okay, these are the questions, or and ask questions related to these things. It will automatically generate questions for you, and you will be in a video with that software. You will be in that video, and whatever you say, so it is on the point, analyzing you. And at the end of the whatever you have said, for example half an hour or 1 hour, it will actually analyze your pronunciation skills. It will analyze your grammatical mistakes. It will analyze that in this particular question how you could have otherwise answered in a different way. So different ways. It will also tell you different ways how you could have given this particular answer. So these are all very good tools coming forward nowadays.
Okay, okay, nice. Uh, so basically, like if I just come up to the next question.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we already know that like we are in the era of GPT, okay, and a lot of things have significantly changed. Even I remember like when I first told, because when first chat GPT came up, okay, so like it's something like slowly people get to know about it.
Mm,
And
mm.
when I like told this to my brother and sister, what they were doing is, it's something like I told them today. I remember that I told my sister about this GPT thing, and she was amazed. And next day, what I'm finding out that she's actually like getting all her assignment answers through it, and
Yeah.
getting out all the prints. Okay, it's something like, because always people will use in that, like in the negative direction, because it's something like, no, it is making our job easy. So
Yes.
like since we are in the era of GPT, because at that point I felt that ki, okay yaar, because it is also giving us the code and all, then we felt that okay, this is the power of GPT. Now, like I'm sure like machine learning is not that, you can say that impressive in the earlier time. Okay, and today is like very impressive, because like it seems like it outperform like all other fields. So what was the, like when I'm talking about machine learning, so how machine learning was different from earlier times versus today? So can you tell about those changes? Because you have seen those changes, because you said na, like
Yeah.
you started working on 15, 16. So slowly you have seen all those changes. Right now it is actually at different level.
Yeah, yeah. So I think from my journey, what I've seen is like in earlier stages, the it wasn't like machine learning was not performing good from 2017 15 as well. There were good performances and all those things, but it was mainly towards images. So computer vision had taken a boom very quickly, and compared to natural language processing. And the reason for it is very simple. The reason is like, if I give you an SD image, and I'll give an SD image of Varun to my friends, so they'll know, okay, this is Varun. But if I remove some of the pixels and remove 50% of the pixels, say, or maybe more than 50 or 60 70%, just with a blurred image itself, they will be able to identify, this is, okay, this is Varun. So if the images and all these things were not very clear, like I told an example of image elephant classification. So even if our models were not that good, but the classification for the images and all these things were very very good. So it was able to tell, okay, this is, if this is an elephant or not, because even if our model is not able to understand the image properly, even if it is able to understand the image 60 or 70%, it will identify the object, and it will classify it. So image and video had a very good had started getting applications in industry and all those things long back, long back only. But there was a issue with NLP, because you see, as I told you, that even if I remove 60 or 70% of your pixels, though the image would be some like it will be a bit of blurred than earlier, you will be able to identify. But in natural language processing, even if you remove a small word, if I say that I am not going to eat, and if I remove not, it will become I am going to eat. With a single word, you see the whole sentence, the whole meaning of the sentence is reversed, not only changed, it has completely gone into 180 degrees opposite directions. So with the natural language processing, we cannot compromise. We were not able to compromise on natural language process, because even with a small error, it can change the complete meaning. So applications on natural language processing was not much compared to computer vision. So that's the reason that though both were into the research equally, but the text and all those things were a bit complicated for the machines to understand. So machines have struggled a lot to understand these languages. And now if you see, with the complexity of increasing, with the help of complex models and these new models, it is able to give very very good accuracies. And that's the reason you will be seeing the use of like chat gpt and all the things, that they are so accurate, and they are able to, they're even able to help you in day to day, your day to day work and all those things. So that's the main reason, I would say. And the more, if you ask me, like what is the core reason that why the advancement has happened now and not earlier, there are two things. One is the advancement in the new technologies, like as I told you, transformers, the language model, the deep neural nets. And the other thing is the capability of the systems to adapt these heavy uh, models. So as you have seen that with the advancement, nvidia is uh, giving more complex chips and all those things. So the advancement in the gpus and tpus, so they are able to kind of process these heavy models. So that's a basic of why the advancements has happened now.
Okay. So, like, understood your point. Like, you explained it very beautifully. The one thing which I liked it, it's not like in the previous time, like computer vision was having that capability during
Yeah,
that time also. Like, even with a blurred image, it able to identify. But advancement actually happened in the NLP side more.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when we are seeing ChatGPT. Okay, and also, that is true because as you were saying, na, ki NVIDIA servers, it's something like
yeah.
they build more powerful
Chips,
servers
yeah,
and
semiconductors and all these things. Yeah,
yeah, more powerful chips, and that's why their stock price has also gone like up.
yeah,
So people, if you have bought that their stocks earlier, so
yeah.
अभी शायद बहुत ज़्यादा like बहुत अमीर होते हैं. But ठीक है, like things are actually going in that direction. So I think in for NLP, the heavy processing is required actually a lot. Is it?
Yeah, not only NLP, any work, any complex task you have, the heavy processing is required. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Guys, tell me like whether you are getting some insight from this session or not. Like you can put on the chat. So like then we'll continue. Okay. It's a very interesting conversation is happening, and you will get more insight like in the later part also. Okay. वैसे हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो थोड़े शर्माते ज़्यादा हैं, तो लाइक इफ दे मैसेज दिस, तो लाइक इट जस्ट देयर थिंग. ओके गाइड, व्हाट अबाउट द अदर्स, व्हाट अबाउट अदर्स? ओके, getting it. Others, okay, like you might not able to see those messages. I think it is directly coming to me. So people are actually messaging, like yes, they are getting it. Okay, ठीक है. So now coming to the next thing, I want to ask the next thing is कि like there is a one very important, like one you can say that which we used to call as a heart of machine learning, like any model or anything. Okay, so we heard about a lot about neural networks. Okay, and it's something like no, like as a human being, like as a human, we have the intelligence. And how we are getting that intelligence? Because we have a brain, we have neurons, which actually contain the information. And accordingly, like those information are bounded together, and like depends upon that, like my memory is actually formed, and based on that I have like all the information and I'm processing it. So similarly, like I've heard that ki, like since like we know about this thing ki, like we have something known as neural network. I don't know the details about it, it's just that I've heard the term, like we have in machine learning we have something known as neural network. Now, like, please help us in understanding this concept. Like how neural network is able to, because this is very crazy thing. If like, how computer is actually understanding this thing. If I'm asking that, okay, tell me who is the president of like this country or something, how it is actually getting that understanding, how it is getting that intelligence. So this is like a very crazy thing, because the machine is able to solve that problem.
Yeah, and I think that's the question you are asking. I think this is the same question which scientists and computer engineers would be asking at that point of time to themselves. Like, how can we uh, generate model such that our machines can understand what a human can understand? So so there were machine learning models like the regret, like for example the random forest, decision trees. These were quite traditionally used, though there was not that computational complexity available at that point of time, but these models were available in back in 1970s or maybe before than that. So these were quite old models, and such complexity were already discovered at that point of time. And then maybe the still like the support vector machines and all these things, these were not based on how means human is trying to understand things. These are having the depth from the statistical understanding of mathematics and all these things. These are having roots in those things, so machine learning. But if you talk about neural networks, so it is solely based on what you said, that some scientists what some scientists, so the first scientists who developed artificial neural network were back in 1943. I think they were two scientists, McClough and Pitts, and they both discovered the first artificial neural network, and they were able to simulate how the real brain cells are. How can we generate an artificial neural network? How our real brain cells work? How can we generate an artificial neural network so that it will also work as humans are working? So basically, so that particular model is called as MP neuron. So before coming to that, you see, if you talk about neural networks, so what is a neural network? So if you see, it's two terms, neural and network. So there are neural basically will is referring to the multiple neurons which are connected to each other, and that's why it's called the neural network. And if you go into more deep into more inside it, you'll see that in the network, the basic element is a neuron. So that particular neuron, what is that neuron? So that particular neuron is basically was the first thing which was simulated or kind of copied by Macklon and Pitt. So they decided, simply, I think that would be, if can I share my screen? That would be more. Good to
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
let
share.
me just download an image for you. Okay, now this image is. Okay, I just found an image randomly in the internet, so I'll just simply share that. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible.
So if you see, this is the brain cell, the neuron, which we have. So we have a soma, which is in the middle. It is basically the main brain cell, and it has contain like it has dendrites and axon. So if one neuron is connected through this particular axon, and then we have different axon terminals over here, so and different dendrites are here. So basically how this was the basic neuron architecture, which Maclon and Pitts thought that we will copy it. And I've opened one PDF maybe. So they kind of designed this basic architecture. So if you see, it is kind of simulating the original part. So over here, if you see this cell, it is called the neuron, and which corresponds to this soma over here. And these inputs like x1, x2, and x3 correspond to different dendrites over here. So these are the different inputs given to a particular human being, and then whatever the computation it is doing, and then it will give some output. So this will become too technical, but in general what I'm trying to say is, for example, if a human is going through some experience, for example, if he had an accident, so he will feel the pain. So how is he feeling that pain? So basically, when he I don't know much biological technology technical things but the thing is, the chemicals will get released, and then the signals will be given to the brain cells. And then similarly, these neurons, there are multiple millions and billions of neurons connected to each other, which will pass information to each other. And if you see, a particular neuron will look like this, and this is how a particular artificial neuron looks like. And if we connect multiple neurons to each other, it becomes an neural network. And this is how they simulated or copied the real brain structure of uh, the human brain. So this was the basic idea of how they came across this idea. And I won't be going into the more complexity, but how this, you asked like how this is actually functioning is. So the basic functioning would, in a very very broader way, I would say that it will it will get to know something. Like for example, we represent everything. Computer won't understand language, or won't understand any image. Everything is represented in form of numbers. And if I say that the example of language is like, if I take a sentence like the cat is sitting on the table. If I give this sentence as input to the model, so it will take the first word, the, and it will tell the model to predict the next word. So it will, suppose the model predicts, after that it predicts dog. But we know that in the input, in the training time, we know that the word is not dog, the word is cat. So we are representing dog and cat in some mathematical form. So for example, if I give cat a number 5 and dog a number 7, so if it predicted wrong as dog, so I will say no, okay, 7 is wrong, you should have predicted 5, which is cat. So 7 minus 5 is 2. So there is a loss associated with everything. So this loss is back propagated to the input, to the model. So this is how there are different loss functions. And this is when we say training. So training and loss are very associated with each other. So these models understand the value of whatever wrong he's saying or whatever wrong he's telling. So there will be some loss associated with it, and then there will
Mhm.
it will back propagate means it will go back towards so there will be a neuron in the first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, and once in the last layer it will get the output, and it will generate, it will say dog, so it will tell, okay, no, this is cat. So each layer is getting updated with the loss. Okay, okay, this is the loss. So that's how these models are learning. So to
Mm.
answer your question, this is, with the help of these loss functions and these mathematical things, it is able to train itself from the language. And
Okay.
this is how the models are learning basically and understanding the language.
Beautiful. Actually, like the thing, the way you relate it with the neuron dendrite right now, like how the
Yeah, yeah.
actual science. So that was very interesting because no one ever showed this kind of thing. The
Yeah, I
second
hope
very
that
important.
made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second very interesting thing which you told is, keep suppose if there is a mathematical value with each word. So if I'm trying to find cat, like if I'm trying to find dog or cat, so accordingly there is a mathematical value. So suppose as you said ki, if we are predicting dog, suppose it given cat, cat has a value 7. But what I want is I want dog who's having value 5.
Hmm.
So there is a loss. You said na 7 minus
Yes.
5, 3 is a loss. Matlab,
Yes.
3 is a loss means like it actually predicted long, it predicted wrong,
Yeah.
and that is
Yeah.
a difference value, and accordingly you said it will back propagate.
It will be, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
aim of the training, after training, the aim of the model would be to decrease that loss. Earlier that loss was 3, then it was 2, then it was 1.
Okay.
They as low as possible. Yeah.
Hmm. So can I relate with an analogy? Like I there is a child, and I showed like that child a dog, and the child is saying cat. Then I'm
Yes.
saying that no, 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 you need to recorrect yourself. This is not dog. So the
Exactly.
child will re, and then I'll show that child another dog. But again, that child
Exactly.
is saying that okay, this is. Then
Again,
again, I'm saying
there's a
okay, no,
loss.
no.
Yeah, definitely. So
No.
that's how humans are understanding things. So that's the same way how we are like making machine understand a language or different things. So I think that's the reason why, if you'll ask like why particularly transformers and large language models have given such improvement, is basically they are, maybe they, at that point of time they understood that uh, the statistical problems are good, but if you need more accuracies and all the things, the benefit of this neural network is that we can increase the complexities as much as possible. You can increase the number of layers as much as you want. So if you keep increasing the layers, it will become deep neural networks. So that's why this concept came. And then with the lots of more technical and some improvements and some technical edits and all these things, so transformers came, the large language model. So that's where the chat gpt also came into existence with such great accuracy.
Okay, yeah, I want to ask about this question. Like the next question was on this part. Like we often hear this thing LLM a lot on the
Okay.
internet, and we used to say that like people used to say that like uh, LLM is actually associated with ChatGPT and Bard. It's something like ChatGPT has their own LLM, Bard has their own LLM, and there is a lot of discussion happening on the internet around this. So basically, what is this LLM thing? Because ChatGPT is using the same LLM which Bard is using. Is it the same, or is it something like different? So like that is the confusion actually.
So the answer to the first thing, like what is basically LLM. So
Hmm.
LLMs, if you see, it's called large language models. So you need to understand a language model. So if you increase the complexity, it will become large. So basically, if you understand a language model in a most basic form, a language model is basically a model which has understood the language in depth, be it any language, for example English or Hindi, any language. It has understood the structure of that language. So when how does a word start? So it, if it's starting with the preposition, and then if it is, there is a verb, there is a noun, when to structure it, and uh, the structure as well as uh, as well as it had understood the meaning of sentences. It has understood the context. For example, if I say a word bat, so if the bat is associated with cricket and players, so it knows that it is talking about the bat which with we play with. And if it is associated with tree or something night, so we know that it's talking about that the bat which flies at night. So basically it is able to get understand the context as well. So the main thing is the model has understood the language in depth. And that is also like the basic is the same thing as I told. Like if we are telling it, we are giving a sentence in input, the cat is sitting on the table, like that. So using these techniques and different language, lots of like Wikipedia text and all these things we are given as an input to these transfer models. And that's why it is able to understand the language. So this is
Mm.
what the language
Mm.
model is. And if we increase the complexity, the language models were there from the beginning itself. There were different language model, like sequential models were there, RNNs and LSTMs were already there. But with the advent of transformer model, basically the large language model came into picture when the transformers came into picture back in 2017 with the first paper was
Mm.
attention is all you need. That was the first paper which introduced the transfer model, which on the task of translation from I think from English to Italian. I don't remember properly, but this was the main paper where transformer came into picture. And that was a very complex model of neural network, and which was termed as transformer model. And that is what is equivalent to say as LLM. And then
Okay.
these LLMs, when used by you, if you are using that transformer model and training it on your data, so that is something which you have trained on. And you can use it according to your own data set and all. And I can also use the transformer. So basically LLMs when used differently, so OpenAI is one company, as you know. So uh, they have trained the transformer models on a lot of millions of text, and then they released it as an open source and you can use it. So that was ChatGPT. And then Google also released it on transform model. So they have also taken it separately and trained it on different text. So that is the technology is same, the transform model is same. Since they have used it on different text and released this differently, so it will vary. The uses, the accuracies will vary. And you can even compare this if you are asking same question to ChatGPT and if you are asking same question to Bard or maybe Google Palm. So the answer it will give accurate, but the way it will tell answer will be different because these both are trained on a different way. So I think I answered your
Okay.
question maybe. Yeah.
But what I've understood, like what a conclusion, kind of a like I got one intuition from this is like, yeah, it is very tough job which they have done because if I'm
Mhm.
talking about a language, as you mentioned the example, when I'm talking about a bat, what it is bat, like it is a, you can say that like cricket bat, or if it is a bat, like when I'm talking about that, you can say that and that animal kind of thing. So it is even confusing for us humans also, like
Mhm.
if we are not giving any context. But
Yeah.
if machine, it is very difficult, like how it is actually get the context, because many times we use that same term, but like in three different ways.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, that is actually which I realized ki, okay, that's why it is saying that large language models, because it is having a deep knowledge of that language. Okay.
Yes.
So the next thing is, like I want to ask, like many people have this question in their mind. Okay, and I think like you will answer this question better. That people have this thing in mind that AI will take away their jobs. Okay, because now these models are so much capable that they can generate code. Even since we have one tool, it's something like GitHub Copilot, and it actually increases the efficiency of a developer a lot, because it helps them in like writing code and all this thing, completing the statement, completing the function, writing the complete like complex functions and all. So, like, how true is this statement? Can you please elaborate on this thing?
So according to me, like there's a clear cut answer that I don't think, and trust me, that AI won't take your jobs. Because it's just basically what we'll say, a technology which has come into picture now, and it will only increase the productivity, and it will only be helping you. For example, as you said that uh, GitHub Copilot, it is only helping you, like helping you with your codes and all these things, but it cannot replace you. So, and it's because even if you try with chat gpt or something like that, you'll see that after a point of time it will not be able to understand what you are saying if you are going into a long chat with it, and it will kind of hallucinate, or it will start stuck, like it will get stuck in a loop. And so if you are working in an industry, you cannot afford to uh, get completely rely on those tools. And for example, if you today want to think that okay, I'm starting a startup, so you will hire a person who does not know how to write even a single code of hello world, and you say that okay, I'll pay you less, whatever you do, you just tell chat gpt whatever I'll tell you to do, you just tell it to chat gpt. Chat gpt will help, but if anything goes wrong, and ChatGPT can go wrong, definitely. There is some mistake. For example, it told you, many times it happens that it told you to write the code in a particular way, and when you actually go copy paste it in your environment, it will give you some errors. So how will you rectify that error? And then at that point of time, you need to tell the chat gpt that okay, this is the error because you have done this thing, can you change it in another form? So you need to have the in-depth knowledge of even that thing, that okay, this is wrong and it shouldn't have given this. So you cannot completely rely on that person who doesn't even know how to write a hello world program. You need to have a developer itself who will just be using chat gpt, and it will, and the developer will be able to do the work in, for example, a week, where without chat gpt he would have done that same work in 1 month. So the productivity will increase, but it won't replace you as a whole. So that's I think it won't happen. And even if that chat gpt and all those things have become that accurate, I don't think our governments and all these things will allow to replace you, because it will be a great setback in terms of economy and all these things as well. But I don't think, because even if you to, I the new startups as well, even I heard one startup is like using the transfer model, the large language models on the they are generating an artificial lawyer and all those things. So it is not that it will replace lawyer, that tool will help lawyers, so it won't replace them, so, to increase the productivity. So that's the thing.
Okay, got it. So, guys, don't worry, it will not take away your jobs.
And very
So,
good analogy is like back in, I think, 1970s or maybe before that, when calculators came into existence. So before that, when there were no calculator, I think it would went between 800 1800 maybe. So at that point of time, the mathematicians and all those people were on strike, like their jobs will go, that calculators have come now. So you see, it didn't happen. So people are only using it as a tool. It hasn't replaced mathematicians or anyone. So that's one thing.
mm, nice. So the last thing is the last thing which I want to ask uh, is like how the market is changing and what opportunities are currently available in the market on this field.
I think the market is actually, this is an era of AI, definitely, I would say. Because even if you go and search the latest startups now in India, maybe mainly in India, I'll talk about India. So you'll see that out of maybe 15, maybe 8 or 9 startups are on a fields related to AI. And if you go, the latest research is 80 or 70 to 80% research in computer is not only computer, but overall, uh, lots of research is on AI related things. and future would be like even if your technology doesn't need AI, but to have a 360 view, people are going to integrate AI in it. For example, they will integrate for customer service, they will integrate a chatbot kind of thing, and to put a cherry on your cake, so kind of thing also. People are integrating AI in every product they are building. And if you see that Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, he said that Indian IT force is going to be in the front offices for the AI skills, and will create a value which will be greater than any other country. So because we Indians, you must have seen that, are very quick learners. They are given any new technology, people are like onto it, and in few weeks or months they are like a master. They have mastered that, and that's why even the US, the Nvidia is the basic, I would say, the base company which has given such advancements in AI. And the CEO of that company, when he connected with our leader, Prime Minister Modi, so they have uh, they have said that India is going to be the top in front offices for AI technology. And now the government, even through the government, there are different companies set for, our own companies are being are being set in, I think, Ahmedabad or Mumbai, for our own semiconductor development. So India is generating their own semiconductor chips like Nvidia is doing. Also there are India is also generating their manufacturing for their own data centers. There's a like you can search as I think Cloud Particle is the name of that company. You can go search about that. So these companies are basically manufacturing their own data centers. So this is going to be there's a lot of future in AI still. If you see coming 5 to 10 years, I would definitely say that AI is going to be more boom now.
Okay, great. Like this is very interesting. Like overall, the chat was very interesting from where it actually started and where it ends. Okay, so guys, like please let us know if you have any questions. Okay, so Shivam will answer like on that thing. Okay, so we have one student, so I'm just unmuting him. Yes, hi Kapil.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
you're audible. Please ask.
Sir, I want to just know about if you know Jim Simons, the Renaissance Technology hedge fund. He was the founder of Renaissance Technology, the only algo hedge fund that has made was really successful. He was a mathematician. His name is Jim Simons, and he just went into the money world and he used machine learning for coding and making mathematical models for stock market, you can say. So if you can give any insight, what field of machine learning is there?
Sorry, I haven't looked much into that thing. So maybe I'll get back once I'll see about that. Maybe I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, okay.
So, so Kapil, you're saying ki like that mathematician has developed some application and he was using some model to to predict something like regarding
In the
stocks.
stock market, yes, and he has generated 66% of average annual ROI for 30 years consequently, average return on
Okay,
investment. So if you
great.
put $100 in the starting
Hmm.
year, you would have got 400 million at the end of 30 years.
Getting it, getting it. ठीक है यार, like people are actually using different models. वो that वो exploration से पता चलेगा like which model is
Yeah.
actually that using. Recently, I was I heard about like one company which the same thing they are doing, but like on the side of Bitcoin.
Mm.
So it actually helps in predicting which Bitcoin like you should like which coin you should buy, and which will have a like great profit. So what they did is they actually combine the two things like Web 3.0, blockchain technology, plus they integrated the Gen AI thing, generative AI and something. So like it's just that I read about it, like, but I don't know the model also. Okay, ठीक है guys, any other question anyone want to ask, please. ठीक है. So guys, like this is all about okay. Sai is asking one thing: which beginner project you will suggest that, like, if, as a beginner, which project like we can work on something?
So maybe as a beginner, you can go through some computer vision projects would be good. Like mainly, I would suggest doing it through convolution neural network, because it will also give you to help you understand the deep neural network as well. So if you see, computer neural network also had different phases. Like earlier there was image processing, which didn't make use of any machine learning or anything, and then there was the use of machine learning in computer vision, and now you can also use the neural networks, which is the form of convolution neural network. So there are various you know, pre trained models like ImageNet and all these things. So they are already trained on a lot of hundreds of data, and like AlexNet, and there are many such examples. And you just need to for example, they are trained on millions of images, and you want to use it for maybe classifying it into cats and dogs, or anything. So you don't need to train it as a whole, you just need to fine tune that, or you just need to take the last layers and train it. For example, it had hundreds of layers, and it is already trained. The all 100 layers are already trained, you just need to train the last two layers on with respect to your own data. So you can that's the technology, we call it as fine tuning it from the pre-trained model. So you can start with that. I'm saying it because the technology has already advanced too much into neural networks and all those things, so it will give an overview, like you will learn through what neural networks are and all those things as well. But if you are learning through, you're going starting to learn, just have your roots into statistical things as well, like what is a normal distribution, and like such things. You should have some basics for probability distribution and understanding for that as well. So so it will give you a complete view of how all things are working.
Okay. So one student is asking, having a question around the same. Do we really have to be very good mathematical skill to learn something new in field of AI, or class 12th level math is okay?
No, I don't think you have to be very like do PhD in your mathematics and all the things. It's not like that. Even I've seen people from the background of, health industry, like there's a company, I think nowhere it is something like that. So I've seen that people in that company were mainly from biological background, and then they actually understood, they kind of uh, they 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 took some basic courses to understand how machine learning is working, and uh, uh, got an idea of how every model is working. And Python development, they learned how to code in Python. So Python is really important to, if you want to master in machine learning and all these things. So my answer would be, you don't have to go much deep into mathematics. Basic mathematics will help you understand what the statistical how the statistical things are working in machine learning. Maybe differentiation and all these things would help. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Shivam. Like
Thank
it's a
you.
great talk, and we got great insight from your answers. And I hope like this will help all the students to define their path, and like to understand like what they now like. I think it will be easy for them to explore this thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you,
That's great.
Shivam.
Thank you everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Bye. Bye all.